So yeah, I was the first woman to break 100K in 25 hours for low ticket offer. So it's easy to
Define a
say, oh,
low
I made
ticket
100,000.
offer, and just for sorry, people that aren't
Sure.
in digital marketing
Yeah,
space,
no,
what do you
thank
mean?
you. Yeah, low ticket offer is typically something under $100. That's like an impulse buy. In my
Mm.
case, it was a $17 front end product. So they bought something for a digital offer for $17. In this case, it was how to ultimate mobile challenge. So it was like a 14-day, 7-day challenge on how to build a mobile optimized website, and also social media. And then once they say yes to that, then they're offered an upsell. Hey, how would you like, either templates or scripts usually, or Cliff Notes version of the 7-day challenge for like $47 or $97. So that's it. And I sold 100,000 in 25 hours. I'd made it a goal to do it in a day. And it was all through affiliates, other people with customers that would want this, uh, did it. So yeah.
Today's episode of the Journey to Legacy podcast, I have such an amazing wealth of knowledge. Miss Maria Gudelis, she's a business coach that has been in the online marketing space since it began. Since 1999, Maria actually was part of the dot-com boom and then the bubble burst. Not only that, she was part of the real estate boom and the crash that happened in 2008 before she actually went all in on the internet, and today is actually teaching people to do the same. It's unbelievable. You're going to hear stories. We only touched on a handful of the plethora of notes that I have here. We only touched on a handful of the actual businesses that she's ran, the full knowledge that she has. But after making millions in many businesses, she has an unbelievable message that we end the episode with, all around what true legacy actually means and what the legacy is that she wants to leave on this world. And so I think you're going to enjoy the episode a lot. So without any further ado, let's hop right on in. Maria, kick us off. Tell everybody just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'll try to keep it brief. I'm a Canadian and love dogs, love traveling and tasting different beers and all that jazz. And I've made millions, started many companies since leaving the golden handcuffs of a corporate job, because I left because they wouldn't give me a promotion to partner that I was expecting that day, because I was taking singing lessons during my lunch hour, and they said the client didn't like that. So I went, well, phooey on that. I quit. And that's since like the year 2000, like 1999 timeframe. So kind of a old OG on all things for marketing and entrepreneurship. So bottom line is, started a software company, hosting company funded by Silicon Valley, and then I went into real estate, made my first million doing real estate. And then when the real estate crash happened, segued into more digital marketing and stuff. And so I had lots of ups and downs. Even went to Ecuador to see a shaman because I had so much negative energy when I found out our CFO was embezzling funds. Had an egg cracked on my head, sage smoke blowing everywhere for me, and the shaman had like vodka in her hand, and she would like have fire. She put the vodka in her mouth, take a swig, and then blow it out and have the fire there, so it would go fire kind of close to me, and I'm butt naked during this thing, Wayne. So yeah, so but it worked. I got rid of all my negative energy. I stayed for a month in Ecuador, loved it. And then fast forward to today, I'm sort of known for riding the trends, and right now I really believe it's YouTube. I'm all in on YouTube organic, and wish I'd started it years ago. But that saying, when's the best time to plant a tree? That was 40 years ago, but when's the second best time? Today. So yeah.
Today. Yeah. Well, amazing. Maria, I love that. Like you said, you started out actually in the corporate world, then
Mm.
you escaped those golden handcuffs after a promised partnership position was kept from you. And then, I mean, so many interesting ventures that like we'll dive into, right? Everything from the dot-com boom to
Yeah.
real estate, and then the real estate bubble burst on you also, to software companies and low ticket funnels in the digital marketing space. And that you said today, YouTube
Mm.
advertising also.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. And you said you're a beer lover also. Do you have any beer recommendations for me to try out?
I like the Belgian beers. So, just
Belgian
go to
beers.
the Belgian beer section and give that a whirl. Valdieu, VAL, and then D apostrophe IEA. Good in the wintertime. So when you get back to the States and you're a little
Yeah,
cold, evening
yeah,
in Florida in the
yeah.
wintertime, because it's a more heavier beer. So yeah, but it's
Beautiful.
awesome.
I'll absolutely try it. I like some Belgian beers, a little bit thicker, a little heavier, warmer beers
Yeah.
as well.
And I've been to the
Um,
Abbey. It's so cool. Like there's a real Abbey and that really
um,
originally was made by monks. So it's so cool.
oh my goodness! All right, I'm absolutely sold. I'm absolutely sold.
Yeah.
Maria,
Cool.
one thing that I'm just going to kick us off, sort of right into the
Yeah.
deep end. I
Yeah.
constantly am speaking with entrepreneurs that left full-time positions, right, and started entrepreneurship. And my favorite
Yeah.
question is around the transition that happened, because there's so many people that are in, well, just in the golden handcuffs, right?
Mhm.
And they're afraid to leave. If you can think back, what was that experience like, and what can you maybe say to people that are trying to get over this hurdle?
Yeah. Well, not gonna lie, I was scared a lot after I did it. Like I just saw red and knew I needed to leave because I was so mad. But I really didn't have a plan B, when I said I
Mm-hmm.
quit.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a lot of people would work out a plan B. Okay, how much are they making now? How much have they saved? What can they do? Or maybe they started on the side as a side hustle and then get it
Sure, sure.
going. So the feeling was very scared at first, but then excited because it's worth it. Because then you're investing in you. Because I know now, fast forward to today, I'm definitely not bossable, and also now, if people are listening to this now and in the corporate world now, the fact is there is no more security working for a company now. Like I've just see
Yeah.
it left, right, and center. People, good people, ethical people that didn't do any wrong, whereas there's other people in the corporations that embezzled funds or stole money or whatever, did or fired people, treating them like pieces on a chessboard without taking in their feelings. You know, Gone are the days, 50, 40 years ago where like my dad worked for big Imperial Oil, Exxon, where they treated you really well and they gave you a really good retirement package for you're set for life. Gone are those days. So you actually do have potentially more risk by not looking at entrepreneurial opportunities
Mm,
that exist now because of the internet, because of AI, because of the global economy that's growing. The trends your friend here. Like there's so many online businesses, websites. I saw a stat crazy the other day about how many websites are being built every hour. Like it was a crazy stat. I don't remember the
oh,
number, but
really?
I was like, really? Yeah, I was like, wow. So
Wow.
I would advise if they're looking to I think first do a personality test.
Oh,
There's
interesting.
lots of them out there. Yeah, so I did the dynamic wealth one a while ago that helped change everything for me and how I design my business around my lifestyle and around my
Mhm.
things I'm good at. Like it turns out I'm a creator and a mechanic and a part star profile, where some other people might be like a mechanic profile, which means they're really good at more technical stuff. Maybe they should be, like create a agency where they're hosting websites and building websites for people or funnels for people. But and if someone's more the creator and a part star, then my god, they should be visible, they should be building a
Sure.
community, they should be so you're matching your personality, your in-depth, like what your DNA coded for, to the entrepreneur business you're going to do. And I think that's going to save you a lot of frustrations down the road,
Right.
or also know what your weaknesses are so you can hire that other person, right?
Mm,
If I'm not good at a mechanic or certain details, like I scored kind of high on that, but it's still good then to have someone that, because you're not going to love it. You're not going to love going into Go High Level or some funnel software to fix some stupid glitch. It's
no,
like
absolutely
it's like
not.
a yeah, that's like scratching nails for me. Where some people love that stuff. Like, I wake up every morning like want to face that as a challenge and do it. I'm like, ugh. So yes, so that's the big thing. And then second, if you could save either a little bit of money on the side or start something on the side, whether it be a consulting business, because you could easily get a few extra clients or even one client if you want to become a consultant or a coach online. And that's like a huge opportunity right now for people. You could start building your audience if you don't have if you're not worried about what other people at your company maybe see, about you.
Sure, sure,
You
sure.
could literally start upping your brand, your personal brand. And personal brand and corporations are matter as well. So this probably only help
Sure.
you in both ways, whether you want to increase in raise and promotion, or whether you want to go off on your own, start a company, create, start
Mm.
becoming a thought leader on what you do and know, whether it be LinkedIn or a YouTube channel or Facebook or Instagram.
Mm.
Face that fear of getting over showing up online and just do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fear is very, very real. It's interesting that,
Yeah.
like you said, you saw red, you kind of on a whim left. My story is similar, but the opposite, that one Monday morning I got hit like a train or a deer in headlights, and got let go for the reason of they apologized, saying you didn't do anything wrong, but we're sorry that we're going to let you go anyways. We're
Oh,
replacing you with
geez.
a more senior level person. And so
Yeah.
that's when I jumped into entrepreneurship. I often
Yeah.
think back and wonder, would it have been better to go find another job and to keep learning in the space where I eventually ended up now? Would that have fast forwarded things and then
Yeah.
start building on the side? What's your opinion? Is it better to jump in full force, or should they start sort of that side
Uh,
hustle and slowly make the transition?
and you've probably seen this too, Wayne. Like, it really depends on the person's situation because this really isn't
Sure.
cookie cutter. Like, you got to analyze what you have. Like, do you have reserves in your bank account? Like, do you
Mm.
a client the other day came to me and they sold a company for a lot to someone else, and so they have money. Okay, I'll pay you 25 grand to do a low ticket funnel for you, like,
Sure,
so
sure.
it depends where you're at. So if you are worried about security of how much money you actually have for your living expenses and all that, then the obvious thing is to probably find a company that you kind of aspire maybe to be like or work with and learn and be like almost that apprentice, get a job there. Like my nephew, I trained him how to do Facebook ads, and he actually I helped him start and then sell a ecom company selling. I don't know if you ever heard of tornado shakers, but that was our brand. We sold it for over $1 million after a year and a half.
Wow.
Yeah,
No way.
and we had
It's like the
videos.
actual like
Yeah.
gym shaker bottles that are a little twist in them.
Yeah. I should have brought it here to show you, but it's like basically it's like a bottle, but
Yep.
and this was the first innovation at the time. But you put batteries in and you push a button and it's like a little blender.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we have over like 21 million views of just one video where we're just showing it in action on Facebook. And yeah, we started in about 2016, 17, and then sold it to venture capitalist company over $1 million a year and a half later, 18 months later. So yeah, $50,000 startup capital because we did private label. We ordered stuff from Alibaba from China, found the best stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then sold it. But in his situation, he after graduating from college as well, and then he decided to go then back to work for a company because he wants to learn. He's now doing Facebook ads for like a huge company. I'm not going to say the name in case well, I don't think it matters. It's one of the big those cool mattress companies where you get a box at your door and it unfolds. But he's
Okay.
responsible for all the Facebook ads for that. And to me, I feel I left a legacy because I've trained him on that. He wasn't able to get that job unless he had done kind of I
Of
apprenticed him
course.
really. So
Yeah.
so other people, I think, if they're short on money and they're looking to get though into this global economy and being an entrepreneur, I would say working with another company would do amazing. And like Steve Larson, I interviewed him ages ago on my I Impossible podcast. I haven't revived it yet, but I have a podcast. And that's what he did. He worked for Russell Brunson, ClickFunnels, for a
Yeah. Yeah.
while, learned his marketing and sales and funnel building chops. And then when he left, he made $1 million, I think, in his first year and a half. Because I remember
Yeah.
following him and he was saying that, wow. Whereas I know another guy who sold his company, he has the working capital to just be the full-time entrepreneur. He's like, Maria, I want to publish a lot of offers. I'm going to find a lot of experts in the health, wealth, and relationship niche. I just want to publish them. Can you make the funnels for me? And he's like a drop in the bucket to pay 25 grand per funnel, So it depends where
Outstanding.
you're at.
This is
Yeah.
such a great
What,
answer. I even love, related to earlier when you said or you
yeah.
gave the idea of go take an online personality test, right? See who
Mm,
sort of who you are. And it's such a
yeah.
great answer overarching here of there isn't a one size fit all, right? Look at your current situation. What type of person are you? How much finances do you have in the bank
Yeah.
already? Do you need
Yeah.
to really be learning a skill more before you can jump in? And depending on all of those pieces, then sort of take action, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask
Yeah.
you this
Yeah.
question, right? Because you're talking about figuring out who you are, what your strengths are, and even another time you mentioned figure out your weaknesses and outsource those.
Yeah.
What's your opinion? And I'm going to try not make this a leading question. Um,
Okay.
shouldn't we figure out what our weaknesses are and improve those?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about improve. Hold on. Yeah. Figure out what your weaknesses are, but no, I'm not as a believer in like obviously if it's affecting your relationships or things, then yes, right? Like weakness could be for me, I'm not a good at attention to details. So therefore, better have a good bookkeeping system in place or a good bookkeeper, right?
Hmm,
But that doesn't mean I need to become an expert and get certified, accounting designation.
nice.
Because if you try to just fix all your weaknesses, then it's sort of like, that magnifying glass to the sun, and then it directs all the focus into one beam, and then it could like, start a fire, right?
Sure.
You don't have that anymore for your business. Like if you really focus on your strengths, like for me, like I'm a creator and then a mechanic and star. So I'm more combining the creator and star by doing my YouTube channel. And I've always been building communities, and I used to have huge Facebook groups as well. And I just like being on video. I like being that star and also creating, like being creative. So if I didn't do that magnifying glass and focus on that, and if I'm trying to do all things like, okay, I'm not that good at being a lord or a deal maker, maybe I should work on that, then like you dilute your energy, which is the most important thing, I think, when running and being an entrepreneur is where your energy goes. And then by diluting that, then you probably end up frustrated because you're probably not going to make the money that you really deserve and are worth. And second, I feel that uh, it'll take you a longer path to get to where
Mm,
you're at. So you're just
mm.
not highlighting, I guess if we're talking about the universe or God here, you're not highlighting the talents that were given to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love the answer that you gave, and
Thank you.
I completely agree. I completely
Cool,
agree
cool.
with you that, let's figure out what our strengths are and magnify those, right? Focus
Yeah.
in on what you're really, really good at. And the other
Mhm.
things, this isn't just one giant overarching answer, but typically the other things, go find somebody else that's good at it. Go get the
Yeah.
bookkeeper, right?
Yeah.
Get yourselves an administrator that can help with the attention to fine detail potentially. You mentioned Maria, right? If it has having to do with like affecting your relationships, sure, maybe
Yeah.
let's go ahead and analyze ourselves and improve on those little things. But overarching business, right? Let's double down on our strengths.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I want to tell just a little bit more about your story here. So, I mean,
Okay.
you jumped into entrepreneurship, right? After you escaped the golden handcuffs. And
Yeah.
how'd you find the internet? Because I mean, now fast forward, 20 almost 25 years later, you're still
Yeah.
and now especially this internet guru. And so, how did you sort of land into that space? How did it all get started?
Um, it really was just I've always loved knowledge, right? And so I think, at the time, hanging out with other consultants and stuff, like I have friends working at whether it be the Computer Sciences Corporation or Anderson or Price Waterhouse, like we would socialize and then we just talk about what's happening, trends. And I one of my favorite magazines at the time. Yeah, Got Talk magazines because the internet didn't exist back then. Was like
Yeah.
Wired magazine or Inc. or whatever. Like even still today, I still get the Harvard Business Review, the real,
Nice.
magazine because I like the print and stuff. But I love going into a library also and seeing all these back issues of all these cool magazines that you never buy anymore because you go to the internet, right? Like Inc. Entrepreneur and stuff, Success magazine. So I think it just I you just find out about it, the internet.
Sure.
So that's how that came about. And then I know Russell Brunson had the best explanation of, hey, instead of doing this, sell the shovels, like when the gold mine era came out. He said the people that really made the most wealth were the ones selling the shovels. But that was before I even knew who Russell was or before he said those words. But I think back then I was to do the website hosting as the first company that I started back then when the internet was just starting, I think that's I just figured, yes, the analogy now would be like, how do you position yourself to be selling the shovels?
Right. So what you
I
told
would
me
miss out.
earlier
Go
was,
ahead.
sorry if I can just
Yeah.
interject. What you told me earlier was that, after you left sort of corporate, you heard from one of your friends in a different company
Sorry.
that they were
Yes. Yeah.
selling, $500,000
Yeah.
websites. And now this
Yeah.
is where it comes in where you're like, you know what, how can I sell the said shovels in this whole
Yes.
ordeal right when the internet's coming out?
Yes. Thank you for that prompt. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
Of
yeah. I was
course.
leading to that, and then I forgot because like it was over dinner conversation over wine in LA, and we're at some gorgeous restaurant on the patio, and I remember he was saying, Maria, we're charging $500,000 to do websites for, and that was when toys.com just started, and that was one of their
Oh,
clients. Yeah,
wow.
we just got this new client because they talk about clients too, right? We just got
Sure,
this new
sure.
client, toys.com, and we charge them 500,000 to do website. I'm like, what? I almost fell off my chair.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so why didn't you didn't decide, let me do websites? I mean, it's amazing you had the mindset to sort of pivot a little bit.
Yeah, well, I felt at that time because my exposure then wasn't to small and medium-sized companies. My exposure was to
Mm,
Fortune 500 companies. So I felt at the
mm,
time for me to do design of websites and charge that kind of money, I'd probably have to become an employee again, right? At
sure.
Anderson then or something
Right.
like that. And so no, I think at that time there were a lot of scrappy young companies doing startups more down the line, down the pipeline. So I felt that had more merit to it when I wrote the business plan. Because yeah, I had no idea. Yeah, that was a great idea, the business design websites. But at the time when I wrote the business plan, okay, from the Porter model, going back to MBA days here, right? The Porter model, like where on the strategy map, right, on the quadrant can I be that has the least competition, that's the most, potential money,
Mm.
demand, and that's where I just figured, yeah, the hosting company, yeah.
Yeah, and so you started a website hosting company, and
Mm.
pretty interesting. I think a pretty unique story is actually, when you got it started, and you just mentioned you had to raise some money. You were sort of one of these early in the Silicon Valley to actually go raise money,
Mhm.
and you got a pretty significant investment as well, I think.
It's over 1 million. Yeah, from Cabletron Systems. It was at that time was a competitor to Cisco, and so now they wanted me to use part of the money to buy all their servers to have the server farm. But it was a win-win relationship, right? Because
Yeah,
it looks great on their books because then they're having more sales, but also they have investments in small startups and stuff. So,
yeah,
and then they actually referred us to a lot of other companies that needed their website to be hosted. So we
sure.
would actually we were doing a little more than website hosting. It goes into a lot more details. I didn't want to go fully in because we could be here for hours, which I
Of
still love
course.
talking about. We were transferring data across the internet too, because the other problem at the
Mm,
time, because I was installing SAP software systems, that the big companies like DuPont's of the world, Amoco's, just all the big companies, Sony and stuff, they were paying huge amounts of money for what's called virtual private networks across America. So if you
yeah,
wanted your plant in outside of Charlotte to talk to, a marketing company in California, there was no internet really at that time that was safe and secure. So
mm,
they had to set up, for millions of dollars, these virtual private networks that were safe and secure to transfer data and stuff. So I felt that what if we could transfer data across the internet using simple object access protocol and encryption? So we actually created our own. That's why I had a lot of expenses for Java programmers. And also
okay.
that's why I was in Southern California. And I even rented a beach house for our programmers so that they could have pure creativity and thought. Because I know that their best work is done at 2 a.m., right? Not
Wow.
showing up 9 to 5 in your corporate office.
Sure,
So
sure.
so they had that. And so the encryption software we created, we even had RSA, one of the bigger security companies, come and check our software out. But that's a whole nother ball game, and I was way out of my league. So I think we just
Ah,
got taken advantage of, where they saw our code and then took it. So that
yeah.
happens.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, this
I've heard.
business is terrible, the venture capital business and technology. I tell you, everyone wants to scoop
Yeah.
from each other. Like I
Yeah.
can go on another tangent there, but I had someone offer me Mercedes. Hey, I'll put a Mercedes in your driveway if you do this thing, and like just
Oh,
like shenanigans. So many shenanigans going on. It's crazy.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
I can only imagine during that dot
yeah.
com boom
Oh
also
God,
how
yeah.
crazy it was. I mean, $1 million
Yeah.
investment. You're renting out a house on the beach for the programmers. You guys are thriving, and then the
Yeah.
bubble burst. I mean, what
Yeah.
happened?
Well, it sucked because I felt we had a good business model. I didn't think we were like a dot com, like that just had a name and then inflated
Sure.
valuation, right?
Yeah.
We actually had legit customers paying us monthly basis. Like, so we had great monthly recurring income at the time. We had hardware. We like it was a real business that you can touch, right?
Sure.
So, but a lot of our customers were in Silicon Valley. So when the dot com crash happened, their valuations crashed, or the venture capital companies that invested in them didn't have any more funds to continue investing in them. So they couldn't pay us much anymore. So it was sort of like, they were cash flow constrained. So then we got cash flow constrained and we started having to lay off people. Now, mind you, everyone landed amazing on their feet because like the training they got in the like we were leading edge stuff on, and that was when simple object access protocol was just being used back then, in the year 2000, right? 2001, 2002. And they became really good Java programmers. So they all got amazing jobs or started their own companies. We did have a venture capital company offer to invest in us and keep us afloat, but
Okay.
that's where you find out about the wicked ways, some things of venture capital,
Sure.
that they wait until the last day before the cash is supposed to be put in your bank account to change the term sheet with us.
Oh,
So all
wow.
of a sudden they want a much more percentage of our company than we had agreed to. But at the same time, they've done all the due diligence, dragged it out for 3 months where they knew then your cash flow position was that
They
you
know
had to
that you
close the
have
doors
to
in a month.
take it essentially. Yeah, or you have to close the doors.
So we said, screw you. And we just hibernated the technology and just closed the company down. And everyone was still
Wow.
fine. Because also
Yeah.
it's a grind. Like that was a grind.
It is.
Not as crazy about venture capital as much anymore, unless you have strategic partners that get it. Like having Eric Schmidt of Google invest in the other
Uh-huh.
software company I started was like night and day to the first time
Wow.
around, right? Because
Sure.
they have the patience, they know what it takes to build a business. They're not going to demand such
Uh,
things from you as the first company that we had. There was like, yeah. So, anyways, that's why I went into real estate after that. So what happened? Sad cry. Like I was probably lost for a year, not gonna lie, lost for about a year.
mm.
Wishing also I'd also back then done different stuff, different moves, maybe with the money, put some aside. But I'd actually put in my 401k into that company because I believed in it so much. So I lost everything then too. So now I didn't have
Wow.
to declare bankruptcy, but yeah.
That
Yeah.
time.
Anyways, don't even, yeah, don't even like talking about it.
No, that's fine. I mean, the reason why
Yeah.
I asked, the reason why I sort of brought the energy and the emotion down is because
Yeah.
you didn't stop there. You didn't stop there. You
Right.
you pivoted
Yeah.
and you kept moving forward, which is so great. And so, I mean, you said at that point you were sort of down for probably about a year. Um,
Mm.
where'd you get the motivation? Why didn't you just take the easy route out, go get another job, right? A little quote unquote guaranteed
Well,
paycheck.
yeah. Well, I took some consulting gigs. I still was an entrepreneur, but as a consultant,
Yeah.
but it was all travel. That's when I traveled into Cary, North Carolina, Raleigh, and I worked for the
Uh,
Department of Transportation because they were installing SAP. But I was traveling from California because at that time, then I'm married, right? My husband lived in
yeah.
Southern California. I was traveling from, like cross country every Monday through Thursday. Usually Fridays are for traveling.
Okay.
So what happened is in the newspaper there was a big ad from Robert G. Allen of No Money Down Real Estate and saying my big fat mouth can make you $1 million. And they were doing the free seminar, right? So
Okay.
at that time, my husband, and I'm divorced now, but my husband and I just said, oh, wait, we should go to this event. It was a free event, put butts in seats, seminars, right?
Yeah.
You know the drill,
Yeah.
where there's a
Classic.
table rush at the end. Gotta buy this, gotta buy this. I did. We bought $5,000 for this real estate investing, and also they did teach internet stuff. So the reason my real
Oh,
estate investing took off and did so well is they taught a lot of how to market online. At that time, eBay was the game,
wow.
and I was then
Wow.
flipping multi-million-dollar homes on eBay. I even had Meg Whitman, the CEO of eBay, call me to say, "How are you doing this? You're the only one on eBay listings that keep selling these multi-million-dollar homes and stuff."
Sure.
Because at that time there was a loophole. It doesn't exist anymore, so it won't work. But there's a loophole that eBay real estate allows you to link to your outside website for more pictures and more details about the home. And guess what was on that
Oh,
website? List building. I had,
nice.
please enter your email to find out about upcoming deals. So I was building a buyer's list.
Oh, wow. Early days real estate, even
Yep.
back then, right? Still early 2000s, you were flipping real estate, $1 million homes through eBay. That's
Yeah,
unbelievable. And so,
because
and you started
yeah,
list building.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because eBay at that time was the search engine game in town because the page ranking of eBay is huge, right? So if
Right.
you structure your title well, if someone's looking for vacation or property investment in San Diego, or property investment in Las Vegas, property investment in Florida,
Sure.
you would also attract worldwide buyers as well.
Wow. And because eBay was popping up at the top of search results.
Yeah, yeah.
What a crazy time.
Yeah, plus I
And so,
was, yeah, yeah. Plus building the important thing is that they got on your email list so that you can nurture them because you could talk about deals, talk about different areas, and then you're getting into being like a Gardner research report of real estate for like say Florida or for Las Vegas or for
yeah.
San Diego. Like obviously we pick areas where Europeans would want to come and invest in as
Mm.
well. So and people want to diversify their funds. So yeah.
Yeah, Maria. In the interest of time, I'm going to
Yeah.
fast forward a little bit, but I already just I we have to have you back because
Okay,
the
cool.
amount of stories that you can tell is really unbelievable. You just brought up building an email list, and so fast forward
Yeah.
us a little bit to today.
Yeah.
And the question I want to ask, and you can sort of build in a little bit of what you're working on today for us.
Hmm.
How important is it to build an email list, right? When there's social media accounts all over the place, building social media followings or just running ads. Is email not dying? Or should I be building a
Yeah.
list?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not dying and it's your golden goose because without an email list, um, you could lose your identity on that social platform, which people have had. Even my mom lost her Facebook account for goodness sake because she donated to charity a few years back, and I think it was a fake charity, or whatever.
Oh,
But
oh,
Facebook then just closed the account. We never have been able to get it back for her. It's crazy.
wow.
So
Wow.
for willy-nilly reasons, yeah, you could lose your social following. Like obviously she didn't have like thousands of people, but she does have
Yeah.
she's an artist. The painting behind me is her art.
Oh,
But
amazing.
yeah, so she lost, some of the followers that bought her paintings because, she's won some awards and been featured in a few galleries. She's 88 now and she still paints, by the way, so it's so awesome. But
Wow.
email list is so important because it's your list, you own it. And yes, email deliverability has gone down with all the changes. And even mid-November, we just had yet another change of Gmail. So a lot of people
Oh,
now are having increasing emails going to the promo rate. So some people
yeah.
maybe that were used to 30% open rate for big list tank to 8%. So there's some things
Wow.
that we're working on. I invested in Troy Erickson's email certification program for email deliverability a few years back because I just always wanted to be top of my game on this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I excuse the jargon. I know you know this. Having email, this is like having an ATM, right? If you need cash, you need cash fast, do a 48-hour flash sale. Whether it be 27
Oh,
bucks, whether it be $20,000, you will make money. But you
nice.
can't without that email list. Because if you do that on social media, you can do okay on it. And don't get me wrong, YouTube organic that I do right now is great. I mean, I'm even shocked at the affiliate commissions I'm getting when I recommend like designer software because I
Oh,
showed that on one YouTube video and I'm like, I was shocked. I made over $1,000 because I've only started this YouTube channel like 8 weeks ago. And besides the money that I'm making from my own offers and stuff, but like $1,000 of passive income just came in the last 2 weeks from like I'm showing them demoing how to use a product to create an ebook in 24 hours or less. Like it's crazy. I don't know
wow.
where else you can get that, but you got to build an email list. And so low ticket funnels, what's cool about that is that you are building an email list because people who abandon the cart, like opt in to start buying, say a $27 thing, say they don't buy, they're still on your email list because they initiated the checkout.
Yeah.
So if you're having like a 30% opt-in rate on that, you're still building an email list, even though they didn't buy, because they might
Oh,
eventually buy and you nurture them.
love it.
So I think one just needs to monitor the data. I mean, you know this too, because your experience, data-driven decisions. Watch your email list for your open rates, your click-through rates, and whenever there's issues, then if it's not your expertise, then just hire someone to fix it for you. Like
Yeah,
there's always someone better than you. Like even me,
totally.
I literally have a voice message this morning, Wayne, from an email deliverability expert. And that's why I found out about the mid-November thing. Cause I'm like, hey, I don't
Yeah.
understand it. Even my things are usually 38% open rates, have gone down
Mhm.
to 29%. I'm not happy with that. Like
Yeah.
I would be really unhappy at 8%.
It's so
But yeah,
great just to hear though, right? That so your reasoning of building an email list, what a great example that your mom's Facebook got shut down, right? She's not
yeah.
even in the space. She's not putting out all these
No,
offers. So anybody at any time, like you don't own your social media accounts. You are at
no,
best renting them and they can be totally taken away and then you lose everything that you've ever gained. But
yeah,
email is not dying, it's not going away. And so by building this list,
yeah,
you have instant access, almost guaranteed access, right, to your list. Versus
yeah,
if you put out, if you have 10,000 followers on Facebook, you put out a post. How many of the 10,000 is even going to see it?
yeah, yeah.
A couple
Unless you
hundred.
email the list to the post.
Yeah, there
There
you
you
go.
go.
Email the post to the list. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
unbelievable. And so Maria, you've obviously you started in the internet game in 2000, but you're sort of known for something a little bit unique. And back in 2011, you even sort of set a record, didn't you? Tell us about some
Yeah.
low
Yeah.
ticket funnels and how you got into the space and just your
Thank
expertise.
you. Yeah, I have to be better at my intro when you ask for a brief summary because I didn't even mention it. I need
Don't
to
worry about
script
it.
this out so I memorize it. But so you're helping me. Thank you for that. So yeah, I was the first woman to break 100K in 25 hours for low ticket offer. So it's easy to
Define a
say, oh,
low
I made
ticket
100,000.
offer, and just for sorry, people that aren't in
Sure.
digital marketing
Yeah,
space,
no,
we don't
thank you.
want.
Yeah, low ticket offer is typically something under $100. I was like an impulse buy. In my
Mm,
case, it was a $17 front end product. So they bought something for a digital offer for $17. In this case, it was how to ultimate mobile challenge. So it was like a 14-day, 7-day challenge on how to build a mobile optimized website, and also social media. And then once they say yes to that, then they're offered an upsell. Hey, how would you like, either templates or scripts usually, or Cliff Notes version of the 7-day challenge for like $47 or $97. So that's it. And I sold 100,000 in 25 hours. I'd made it a goal to do it in a day. And it was all through affiliates, other people with customers that would want this, uh, did it. So yeah. And actually the person who won the affiliate contest was Jason Fladland. Now, and he's a friend of mine now too, but yeah, so he won my 67 Mustang because I gave away a 67 Mustang to the winner.
oh wow.
So yeah. So yeah, I say no ads, but in reality, there are some things you do, like you orchestrate your launch, to even though you made 100,000 25 hours, it took me 3 months to plan it out, right? And
Mm,
I would recruit affiliates as well to, hey, do you want to promote this? And you give them percentage of the front end and back end. I gave 50% of the $97 offer on upsell one. And because a lot of people don't do that, they just give money on the front end.
mm, mm.
And so all these people, and then I said, hey, as a prize, I'm going to give away my 67 red Mustang. So he ended up winning it, but you had like 3 people vying for that winning prize, and so many people trying to get it. So then you got a lot of sales, from that, and yeah, so that was a lot of fun, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. 2011 sold or made
Yeah.
100,000 in 25 hours through a low ticket
Mm,
offer.
yeah.
You said you were the first woman to ever do that, and like you
Yeah,
didn't
probably the
stop
first
there.
man.
Uh,
I'm going to
yeah,
say maybe even the first man, but I guess I know with confidence the first woman, because a lot
yeah,
of people, again, can brag about a $300 course or $500 course, and I made 6 figures in one day launch, but or even 7 figures. Oh, I have a,
sure,
like I know some people made $1 million, like, but they had then
yeah,
a $10,000 course or something.
of course,
Yeah.
yeah. But you did it with products under $100, and so
Hmm.
fast forward us to today. I mean, that was 2011.
Yeah.
Have you changed? Has that sort of concept died out, or what do you recommend that listeners sort of do that want to get into the online space?
Yeah, the concept hasn't died out, but with the proliferation of, well, first of all, the internet being available for everyone so cheaply now, right? And AI now available, so information is being commoditized. So you can still do it. Like what's changed personally for me, what's changed is it's not about money anymore. Because back then I tied how much money I made to my ego, and that's not there
Uh,
at all anymore. Because we talked earlier, because the life lessons, right? And also with my dad passing away and all that jazz, I realized creating precious memories is the most valuable currency than how much money you make. Because like, we said even about social media accounts, it all can be taken away from you, the rug pulled out from under you, and you can lose all that, but you still have your family, your friends, people you love around you. And so basically nowadays, people can be very successful with low ticket funnels, like with free organic traffic, like YouTube, because I'm all in on YouTube now. You can get a lot of sales. Like I'm just astounded. Like organically, I've made probably $18,000, I would say, in the last 2 months, organically, not with paid ads
yeah,
or
yeah,
anything. Just crazy through digital offers. And it starts with a low ticket offer. Um,
yeah,
but I will say, if you want to do a launch and go, I want to make 100,000 in one day, then you have to strategically plan that and
yeah,
either do it through ads or do it through having people promote you, which still works. You could host an event, host a challenge. I mean, when my clients, the product boss came to me, Jacqueline and Mina, now it's just Jacqueline and Mina, and Jacqueline split on good parts, and Mina sold her part of the business back to Jacqueline, but they made 50, no, sorry, $67,000 in 5 days by launching a challenge. And I was their kind of CMO, fractional chief marketing officer. I planned, orchestrated it all. And so that's pretty darn close. And then when they did it again, they made $100,000. Now, fast forward 4 years ago, 4 years later, they're still using the same challenge, and they're still using almost the same ads, the angles, everything. And they're making almost $1 million now whenever they run a challenge. So you grow with it, because also snowball effect. Their list is growing, right? Because then we
of
go back to
course.
the email list being more important. Because people that didn't buy now, say, 90 people out of every 100 people that don't buy their $1,000
Yeah,
course, they might buy a year later. They might buy 2 years later, as long as you
sure.
nurture them, keep in touch with them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. So it's still absolutely alive and well. The
Mhm.
practices of exactly how to do it has changed a little bit and will always continue to change. Would love to hear
Yeah.
that, you're all in on YouTube organic. And so everybody should go check out Maria's YouTube channel. See what she's working on, see exactly
Thank
examples that
you.
are happening in front of your face. But Maria, I can't leave us without touching on something really interesting that you said, that your whole perspective, it seemingly on life has changed from you were so focused on making money and that was tied to your ego to what you said now was around creating precious memories. And so
Yeah.
I like to sort of start to wrap up the show with the topic of legacy. And so
Yeah.
you've launched and grown multiple companies. One of them that we didn't touch on, got purchased by a hospital or dementia company, and you're
Mm.
helping so many people there. And I'm sure you made a lot of
Mhm.
money from it. Yet now you're talking about creating precious memories. So what is
Yes.
legacy in your mind? What's the legacy you want to leave on this world?
Uh, you know, Big question. It's just it's no longer, it used to be like impacting thousands of people and stuff, but no, the legacy
Mm-hmm.
now is that you've helped bring happiness into people's lives. Like I get an email sometimes that after taking your course, like on a serious note, like some emails will say, like, I almost was thinking of committing suicide, and your thing helped me, gave me hope, right? So the legacy is, I sort of do want to be a hope dealer, but now it's more just to a smaller amount of people. It just might even be in my circle of friends, that I had more time to, maybe drive down to Toronto. It's like a 2.5 hour drive for me to go visit a friend once a year that I haven't seen, just to invest in that friendship. Then what a lot of people are being driven to do of the hustle culture is that, oh, I'm going to go, spend all this time on launching an offer or learning this and do that. I'm going to hustle and grind, every
Mm-hmm.
spare moment. I think even if I just, continue to touch just a few lives, then I'm happy. And I'm always thinking, how, Because if you just do high ticket, you know, do a $10,000 package, $25,000 package, high ticket, and that's it, then it's like, and that's okay because everyone has different goals. But then it's like, how are you really impacting other people? Like, so that's why I like having this. I have a $5 a month school community called Make Money Online with Maria, because maybe people who can't afford that, I can still help. And I don't do it for free anymore. I used to, but you get a lot of spammers in your free communities, like who just want to
Absolutely.
steal other people and sell them. So I didn't even want that energy because I tried it in the school
Mhm.
community, and I'm like, I didn't like it, even though everyone says, oh, the way to make a lot of money is do a free school
Yeah,
community, have a DM to them, and have a closer setter, and then get them on a call, sell them a
yeah, for
$5,000
sure.
package. No, yeah, so I'm just happy with the $5 a month community. I've got 313 people in it now after starting it about 2 months ago when I started the YouTube channel. That's where the traffic's coming from. And I if I can get that to like 2,000 people in it, like that's nice passive recurring income, and
Yeah.
it doesn't hit their wallets. It's less than, a
Mhm.
Netflix subscription, to do $5 a month. So I feel they can invest in that to invest in themselves, and then they can choose to buy higher packages from me or to maybe someone else, or gosh, people can even just go to Udemy for God's sake if they're strapped for cash to really learn
Absolutely.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's so amazing, right? That you've seen the other side, right? You've been there, you're
Yeah.
making all this money,
Yeah.
helping, even starting right in corporate, right? Helping these huge Fortune 500 companies to
Yeah.
now, 25 years or so later, progressing to
Yeah.
you're almost preaching a as close to free as possible offer so that you can
Yeah.
impact more people. And this term, you want to almost be a hope dealer, is
Yeah.
really, really unbelievable, right? And so a
Thank you.
legacy of helping bring happiness into people's lives and truly helping them and not just helping yourself, right? Which there's
Yeah.
unfortunately a lot of those people in this world that are doing whatever it takes just to make money and selling kind of garbage. And it's
Yeah.
such a blessing to have people like you out there, Maria, and really leading the charge as well.
Thank you. Thanks, Wayne.
Yeah, absolute
Appreciate that.
pleasure. If anybody wants to connect with you a little bit more, where's the best place that we can shoot them, direct them over to?
Yeah, sort of in the process of rebranding because of the YouTube thing. So
Mm.
I do have my website, but it's going to change, mariagudelis.com. I've had that forever. But I also created a new website called fastdigitalwealth.com. And when people go there right now, they can get access to a proven 1K days blueprint. And I'll be adding to that freebie offer there where they can, that leads, by the way, to my $5 a month community. But I'll probably add like a YouTube channel optimization checklist or how to get your YouTube channel started as the first step there. And yeah, so fastdigitalwealth.com or mariagudelis.com. Yeah.
And there you go. For everybody out there, thank you for tuning in today to the Journey to Legacy podcast. Please let us know what you thought. Head on over to social media, to YouTube, or anywhere that you're listening to the podcast. Drop us a comment. What are some of your top takeaways from today? Mine is Maria talks about focusing in on your strengths, right? Outsource your weaknesses. Find somebody else to be your bookkeeper or find an admin to double check, make sure that you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's. She also says that knowledge is power, right? She talks about creating an email list. That's more about the specifics around digital marketing, around how you're not guaranteed your social media following. It can be taken away from you at any time. And so capture people's information, nurture them over time, keep providing them value. Because even if they don't purchase from you today, they're going to purchase when they're ready if you're still top of mind and if you're still providing value to their lives. And then what an amazing ending there at the end. If you all have listened to podcasts, my podcast episodes here before, you know that that's the legacy that so many of these crazy change-making entrepreneurs talk about. The legacy of just making a difference in people's lives. It's not leaving $1 billion behind for their friends and family or necessarily leaving generational wealth. It's making a difference. It's being a hope dealer, being an inspiration to all of you out there. I would love to help you leave that same legacy on the world. And we're doing that over the Journey to Legacy community. Visit us over at journeytolegacy.org and come surround yourself with change makers like Maria, people that are working day in and day out, to make a lot of money, but to do it in a way that's helping people. Doing it in a way that where people aren't just going to remember what you did, but they're going to remember how you made them feel. Come join us. Come be a change maker. Come leave a lasting and meaningful legacy on this world. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, my name is Wayne Veldsman, and you have been listening to the Journey to Legacy podcast.